You ever felt something was off about someone, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it? You ever been around a person who smiled in your face, but deep down something told you they don't mean you well? Listen to that voice. Because some people are not what they pretend to be. Not every narcissist is loud. Not every enemy throws a punch you can see. Some are quiet, calculated. They don't come with a warning label. No, they come disguised as friends, as lovers, even as family. And by the time you realize the truth, they've already done the damage. Today, I'm going to expose them. I'm going to give you 8 undeniable signs of a hidden narcissist with evil intentions, so that when they show up in your life, you'll know exactly who you're dealing with. Number 1, they play the victim, but they're the real villain. There's a dangerous kind of person in this world, one who wears the mask of innocence while carrying the heart of a manipulator. They are the ones who twist every situation to make themselves look like the victim, no matter how much damage they've caused. You see, a hidden narcissist with evil intentions doesn't want to be seen for who they truly are. That's why they master the art of deception. They make you feel guilty for things that weren't even your fault. They create chaos, stir up problems. And when everything falls apart, they stand in the middle of the wreckage, pointing fingers at everyone but themselves. They want your sympathy, your forgiveness, your attention. Because as long as they can convince you that they're the victim, they never have to take responsibility for their actions. And the worst part, they do it so convincingly that you start to doubt your own reality. At first, they seem like the most misunderstood person you've ever met. They tell you stories of how the world has been unfair to them, how they've been wronged, betrayed, abandoned. They paint themselves as the underdog, the one who has suffered the most. And because you have a good heart, you believe them. You want to help. You think maybe they just need love. Maybe they've never had someone who truly understands them. But what you don't realize is that their suffering isn't always real. It's a tool, a weapon. They tell half-truths, omitting the parts where they were the ones who caused harm. They make sure you see only their pain, never the pain they've inflicted on others. And before you know it, you've been pulled into their web, where every disagreement, every challenge, every issue somehow becomes your fault. They have a way of twisting reality so subtly that you don't even notice it happening. One day you catch them lying, and instead of apologizing, they start crying about how you don't trust them. They say they've been hurt before, that people always assume the worst of them, that they're tired of being accused of things they did, and suddenly you feel guilty. You feel like maybe you were too harsh, too suspicious. You start apologizing, reassuring them, comforting them, even though they were the one who did something wrong. That's their power. They turn the table so fast that you forget why you were upset in the first place. It's not about the truth for them. It's about control. And the more you let them manipulate your emotions, the tighter their grip becomes. What makes it even more dangerous is that they don't act like villains outright. If they walked around being openly cruel, people would see them for what they are. But no, they are experts at playing both sides. One moment they're your best friend, your closest confidant. They shower you with kindness, making you feel like you're the only one who truly understands them. But the next moment, the second you challenge them or hold them accountable, they crumble into a mess of tears, accusations, and victimhood. They'll say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me," or "I knew you'd leave me like everyone else." It's a game to them. A psychological trap designed to keep you in a constant state of guilt and obligation. But here's the truth. Someone who truly loves you, truly values you, will not manipulate your emotions to avoid accountability. They will not make you feel guilty for setting boundaries. They will not rewrite history to make themselves look innocent while painting you as the villain. A narcissist with evil intentions wants to keep you emotionally enslaved. They want you so tangled up in their sob stories and fabricated pain that you never stop to question their actions. Because if you ever took a step back and truly look at the pattern, you'd see that the common denominator in all their problems is them. Not you, not their ex, not their family, them. They don't just play the victim in personal relationships, they do it everywhere. At work, they blame their coworkers for their failures. In friendships, they act like they're always being left out, always mistreated. Even in casual interactions, they spin the narrative to make themselves look like the helpless one. And the reason they do this? Because being the victim is the easiest way to gain control. It makes people let their guard down. It makes people feel sorry for them. And once they have your sympathy, they have access to your kindness, your loyalty, your forgiveness. But you have to notice, you have to wake up. Because the longer you stay in their web, the more damage they will do to your mind, your heart, your spirit. They will drain you emotionally, make you second guess yourself, turn you into a shadow of the person you used to be. And then when you're exhausted, when you've given them everything you have, when there's nothing left of you, they will move on to their next victim, leaving you broken and confused, wondering how someone who seems so hurt could be the one who hurt you the most. So what do? You see them for who they really are. You stop letting their tears blind you to their actions. You stop feeling guilty for holding them accountable. You recognize that just because someone acts like a victim doesn't mean they are one. True victims don't manipulate, they don't deceive, they don't destroy people's lives while crying about their own. A hidden narcissist with evil intentions will never change because they don't see themselves as the problem. But you can change. You can take back your power. You can walk away. You can refuse to play their game. And if they try to guilt you into staying, if they try to convince you that you are the one who abandoned them, remember this: a real victim wants healing, not control. A real victim takes responsibility for their own actions. A real victim does not leave a trail of destruction behind them while demanding sympathy. You owe it to yourself to protect your heart, your mind, and your peace. Because at the end of the day, the only way to win against a narcissist is to stop playing their game. Number 2. They praise you in public but tear you down in private. There's something unsettling about a person who sings your praises in front of the world but whispers poison into your ear when no one else is around. These people wear two faces. One for the public, where they pretend to admire, respect, and uplift you, and another for the private moments, where they chip away at your confidence and self-worth. They want the world to see them as kind, supportive, and loving. They want to be viewed as the one who always builds people up, but behind closed doors, it's a different story. They criticize you, humiliate you, and make you feel like you are never enough. It's not an accident. It's a strategy. They lift you up in front of others so that when they knock you down in private, no one will believe you. And if you ever try to call them out on their cruelty, they'll turn the tables and make you look like the one who's ungrateful. At first, it feels like you've found someone who truly sees you. They brag about you to their friends. They talk about how talented, strong, or special you are. They act like they're your biggest fan, and it feels good. You feel appreciated, valued. But then in those quiet moments, when there's no audience, their tone, that admiration turns into subtle jabs. They question your decisions. They mock your dreams. They make fun of your insecurities in ways that sound like jokes, but deep down they know exactly what they're doing, and you feel it. The pit in your stomach, the confusion in your mind. You start to wonder, are they actually proud of me, or do they secretly resent me? You try to shake off the doubts, but over time their words start to take root. It doesn't happen all at once. No, they're too clever for that. They tear you down little by little, so gradually that you don't even realize what's happening. One day they tell their friends how amazing you are, and the next, they tell you that you'll never be successful if you don't start being more realistic. They tell the world that they admire your confidence, but when you're alone, they say things like, "You really think you're that great?" They build you up just enough to keep you from walking away, but they tear you down just enough to make sure you never feel truly secure in yourself. It's a game, a sick and calculated manipulation designed to keep you in a constant state of self-doubt. Because as long as you doubt yourself, you'll rely on them for validation, and that's exactly what they want. The scariest part is that to everyone else, they seem like the most supportive, loving person in your life. People tell you how lucky you are to have them. They say, "Wow, they really believe in you," and you nod, forcing a smile, because what else can you do? No one sees the other side. No one hears the cruel words spoken in private. And when you try to express your pain, when you try to tell someone what's really going on, you hesitate. Because who would believe you? Who would believe that the same person who praises you in public is the one who makes you feel worthless behind closed doors? Because one of the things that you will believe is the same thing that you do believe that makes you worthless behind closed doors. And that's exactly why they do it. They create a false image of themselves so that if you ever try to expose the truth, you look like the problem. But the truth is, their praise was never real. It was a performance, a carefully crafted act to maintain control over you. They don't actually want to see you succeed. They don't truly want you to feel confident or strong, because if you did, if you truly saw your own worth, you wouldn't need them anymore. And that terrifies them. They know that confident people walk away from toxic situations. They know that strong people don't tolerate abuse. So they keep you stuck in the middle. High enough that you don't leave, but low enough that you never feel free. It's a psychological prison, and the worst part is, most people in these situations don't even realize they're trapped until it's too late. So how do you escape? You start by seeing the pattern. You stop making excuses for their behavior. You stop brushing off their insults as harmless jokes. You stop telling yourself that they don't really mean it, because they do mean it. Every word, every comment, every little remark designed to break you down, it's intentional. They want you to second guess yourself. They want you to feel small. They want you to shrink so that they can feel bigger. And the moment you recognize that, the moment you stop justifying their actions, you take your first step toward freedom. Then you start rebuilding your confidence, not through their validation, but through your own. You remind yourself that you are not who they say you are. You are not weak. You are not unworthy. You are not a failure. You are powerful, intelligent, and capable. And you don't need their approval to prove it. You start speaking up for yourself. You start setting boundaries. And when they try to guilt trip you or twist the narrative to make you feel like the bad guy, you stand firm. Because now you know the truth. Now you see them for who they really are. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. And if you ever feel tempted to fall for their public praise again, remind yourself of this. Real love, real support, real admiration is consistent. It doesn't change depending on who's watching. Someone who truly respects you won't treat you like a king or queen in front of others and like a burden when you're alone. Someone who truly believes in you won't build you up just to knock you down. Love should never feel like a performance. Respect should never feel like a game. And if someone only values you when others are looking, then they don't value you at all. At the end of the day, you have a choice. You can stay in the cycle, letting them control your self-worth, or you can take back your power. You can remind yourself that you are in charge of your confidence. You decide your worth, and you have the right to walk away from anyone who makes you feel less than you are. And when you do, when you finally break free, you will realize that you never needed their praise in the first place. Because everything you were searching for, in their words, was inside you all along. Number 3. They gaslight you until you question reality. It starts so subtly that you don't even notice it at first. A small disagreement, a simple misunderstanding, and they twist the story just a little. You remember what was said, but they tell you it never happened that way. You recall the hurtful words they spoke, but they swear they never said them. And because you trust them, because you believe they wouldn't lie to you, you start to doubt yourself. Maybe I misheard. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's just in my head. That's how gaslighting begins, not with blatant lies, but with little manipulations that make you question your own memory, your own judgment, your own reality. Before you know it, this pattern takes over your life. You bring up something that hurt you, something they did that made you feel small, and instead of taking responsibility, they flip the script. Suddenly, you're the problem. Why are you always so sensitive? Why do you always assume the worst? Why can't you ever let things go? Now, you're not just doubting what happened, you're doubting yourself. You start believing that maybe you are too sensitive, too emotional, too irrational. You begin apologizing for things that weren't even your fault. And with every apology, they gain more control. Gaslighting is not just lying. It's not just manipulation. It is a slow, deliberate erosion of your confidence in your own mind. It's a psychological attack designed to make you dependent on them. Because once you stop trusting yourself, once you start believing that your thoughts, feelings, and memories are unreliable, who do you turn to for the truth? Them. And that's exactly what they want. They want to be the voice in your head, the one who decides what's real and what's not. Because as long as they control your reality, they control you. They will rewrite history in front of your eyes. You could have proof, text messages, recorded conversations, undeniable evidence, but they will look you straight in the face and tell you that you misunderstood, that you took things out of context, that you're remembering it all wrong. They will gaslight you so effectively that even with the truth staring you in the face, you will still question yourself. And that's the most dangerous part, when you start to doubt your own mind more than you doubt them. When you start believing that their version of reality is the only one that matters. And the worst part, they make it seem like they're doing it out of love. They act like they're helping you, like they're just trying to get you to see things clearly. They tell you that you overthink too much, that you stress over nothing, that they're just trying to bring you back to reality. And for a while, you believe them. You convince yourself that they're right, that they must be right. Because if they're not, then that means you've been living inside a nightmare. That means someone you trusted has been manipulating you all along. And that truth is almost too painful to bear. But deep down, you feel it. Something is off. You feel drained, confused, lost in your own mind. You replay conversations in your head, trying to make sense of what's real and what's not. You feel like you're walking on eggshells, afraid to bring up your feelings because you know they will twist it against you. You start keeping your thoughts to yourself, isolating yourself from others because you don't know who to trust anymore. And that's exactly what they want. They want you alone, unsure, dependent on them to tell you what's real. But let me tell you something. You are not crazy. You are not imagining things. You are not too sensitive. Your feelings are valid. Your memories are real. And the fact that you feel confused, the fact that you feel like you're losing yourself is not because of you, it's because of them. Because deep down, you already know the truth. You just need to trust yourself again. You need to believe in your own reality, no matter how much they try to distort it. You need to take back the power they stole from you, the confidence they shattered, the voice they silenced. So how do you break free? You start by recognizing the pattern. You start by writing things down, keeping records of conversations, holding on to your truth, even when they try to rewrite it. You remind yourself that their words are not law. Their version of reality is not the reality. You stop engaging in their games. You stop explaining yourself, defending yourself, seeking their validation. Because the more you argue, the more they manipulate. The more you try to prove your reality to them, the more they twist it against you. So you stop playing their game altogether. And most importantly, you reconnect with yourself. You start trusting your instincts again. You listen to that gut feeling that tells you something is wrong. You surround yourself with people who remind you of who you are, people who validate your experiences, people who love you without conditions or manipulation. And little by little, you find your way back to the truth, back to yourself. Because in the end, the only way to escape a gaslighter is to reclaim your own mind. To stand firm in your truth, even when they try to shake it. To walk away from anyone who makes you doubt your own reality. And when you do, when you finally break free from their grip, you will realize that you were never crazy, you were never weak, you were just trapped in a web of lies. But now you see clearly. Now you are free. Number 4. They give you just enough to keep you hooked. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how to keep you on edge, how to keep you hoping, waiting, craving their approval. They don't give you love freely. They make you earn it. One moment, they make you feel like you're the most important person in their world, and the next they pull away. You don't understand what changed, what you did wrong, why their warmth suddenly turned cold. But instead of walking away, you try harder. You chase that feeling of love, of validation, of belonging, because when they do give it to you, it feels incredible. And that's the trap. That's how they keep you hooked. They give you breadcrumbs, just enough affection, just enough kindness, just enough attention to keep you hanging on. They know if they gave you nothing, you would leave. So they keep you in a cycle. Highs and lows, affection and distance, promises and disappointment. And over time, you become addicted to those rare moments when they actually make you feel seen, valued, loved. You start living for those fleeting instances, convincing yourself that this is who they really are, that this is proof they truly care, but deep down you know something is off. No real love feels like this. No real connection makes you feel like you're always almost enough, but never quite. You start questioning yourself. Maybe I just need to be more patient. Maybe I expect too much. Maybe I should be grateful for the good moments instead of focusing on the bad. And that's exactly what they want you to think. They want you to lower your standards, to accept less than you deserve, to believe that this is what love looks like. They don't want to give you real consistency, real commitment, real security, because if they did, they would lose their control over you. They know that as long as you're chasing their approval, as long as you're trying to earn their love, you'll stay exactly where they want you. And the most dangerous part, they know exactly when to pull you back in. When they feel you drifting away, when they sense you're getting tired of their games, that's when they suddenly become everything you ever wanted. That's when they shower you with attention, say all the right things, make you feel like maybe, just maybe, they're finally changing. And just like that, you're back. You let your guard down. You tell yourself that this time things will be different, but deep down, you already know what's coming next. As soon as they know they have you again, the coldness returns, the distance comes back, and the cycle repeats. But they don't love you. They love controlling you. They love knowing that no matter how badly they treat you, you'll stay. They love the power of making you question yourself, of making you feel like their affection is something you have to earn. But love isn't something you win. It's not a prize for good behavior. Love is given. It is freely shared. And if someone only gives it to you in small doses, if someone makes you feel like you constantly have to prove yourself just to be worthy of their kindness, then it's not love. It's manipulation. Think about how much time you've spent waiting for them to change. Think about how many times they've promised to be better, only to fall back into the same patterns. How many times have they made you feel like you were on the verge of something real, something lasting, only to pull it away the second you started to believe? You keep holding on to hope because you remember how good it can be, but hope, when misplaced, can be a chain. It can keep you trapped in a toxic cycle, waiting for a version of them that doesn't truly exist. You deserve better. You deserve someone who doesn't make you work for their love, who doesn't leave you feeling anxious, uncertain, or unworthy. You deserve consistency, not confusion. You deserve a love that is steady, not something that keeps you on an emotional roller coaster. You don't need to earn real love. It will find you when you learn to stop accepting the bare minimum. So how do you break free? You stop chasing. You stop making excuses for them. You stop believing in their potential and start seeing the reality. If someone truly loves you, they will show it in their actions, not just in words, not just when they feel you slipping away, not just in rare moments that keep you hooked. The second you stop accepting breadcrumbs, the second you demand more, the second you recognize your worth, you take away their power. And that is when you finally get your freedom back. Because love isn't meant to be a game. It isn't meant to leave you feeling drained, insecure, or desperate for validation. Love is meant to feel safe. It is meant to lift you, not break you. And when you finally let go of the person who only gave you just enough to keep you hooked, you make room for the one who will give you everything without hesitation. Number 5, they sabotage you while acting like they support you. At first, they seem like your biggest cheerleader. They smile when you talk about your dreams, nod in agreement when you share your ambitions, and even say all the right things. I believe in you. You're going to be great. You deserve this. But behind that supportive mask, there's something else. A quiet, hidden resistance. A subtle undercurrent of jealousy, insecurity, or even control. Because deep down, they don't actually want you to rise too high. They don't want you to outgrow them. So while they pretend to support you, they're secretly working against you. It's not always obvious. They don't openly attack your goals or tell you to quit. No, they're much smarter than that. Instead, they plant tiny seeds of doubt. Are you sure you can handle that? That seems like a lot of pressure. I just don't want to see you get hurt if it doesn't work out. They disguise their sabotage as concern, making you second guess yourself. And because you trust them, because you believe they have your best interests at heart, you start listening. You start doubting yourself. You start wondering if maybe they're right. Sometimes they use backhanded compliments, praising you just enough to keep you hopeful, but laced with just enough negativity to make you hesitate. Wow, I didn't think you had it in you. I guess you proved me wrong. Or, that's impressive, but don't get your hopes up too high. You know how things can go. They create an invisible ceiling over you, making you feel like you're capable, but not too capable. They keep your confidence just low enough that you never truly take off. And every time you try to break through, there they are, gently pulling you back down. Then there are the more direct ways they sabotage you. Maybe they conveniently forget to pass along an important message or withhold valuable information that could help you succeed. Maybe they make you late for a big opportunity, distract you when you need to focus, or stir up unnecessary drama just when you're about to make progress. And if they really feel threatened, they'll go further. They'll spread subtle negativity about you, warning others in a way. I just hope they can handle it. I've noticed they've been really stressed lately. They cast doubt on you in the minds of others while keeping their own hands clean. But the most dangerous sabotage, the kind that comes when you're at your most vulnerable. Maybe you hit a rough patch. Maybe things don't go as planned. And instead of lifting you up, instead of reminding you of your strength, they lean in and whisper, "I told you so." They don't say it outright, but it's there. In the way they look at you, in the way they subtly shift the blame onto you, they make you feel like your failure was inevitable, like they knew this would happen, like you should have just listened to them in the first place. And that's the moment they tighten their grip. They act like they're the only one who truly understands you, the only one who really knows what's best for you. They say things like, "I just don't want to see you get hurt again. Maybe it's time to accept that some things aren't meant for you." And suddenly you feel smaller. You start questioning your own judgment. You start shrinking yourself, dimming your light, making yourself easier to control. And that's exactly what they wanted all along. Because at the end of the day, they don't actually want what's best for you. They want what's best for them. They want to keep you close but never let you outgrow them. They want to feel superior, to be the one who always has the answers, the one you always rely on. Your growth threatens that. Your success makes them feel smaller, so instead of lifting you up, they hold you down, all while pretending they're doing it out of love. But real love doesn't feel like this. Real support doesn't come with hidden agendas, with whispered doubts, with invisible change. Real support is cheering for you even when you're shining brighter than them. Real support is celebrating your victories, not secretly resenting them. Real support is lifting you higher, not quietly pulling you back. So what do? You pay attention. You listen to their words, but more importantly, you watch their actions. You notice how they react when good things happen to you. Do they seem genuinely happy, or is there a flicker of something else? Jealousy, discomfort, a need to subtly bring you back down. You test the waters. You share a dream, a goal, a big idea, and then you watch. Do they encourage you wholeheartedly, or do they immediately start poking holes in your vision, making you doubt yourself? And when you see it, when you finally recognize the pattern, you make a choice. You choose to stop looking for approval from someone who secretly doesn't want to see you win. You choose to believe in yourself even when they try to plant doubt in your mind. You choose to surround yourself with people who genuinely want to see you grow, people who celebrate your wins without hidden resentment. And most importantly, you choose to step fully into your potential, without fear, without hesitation, without waiting for anyone else's permission. Because the truth is, you don't need their approval. You don't need their validation. You don't need them to believe in you. You need to believe in yourself. And the moment you do, the moment you stop letting them control your confidence, the moment you stop shrinking yourself to fit into their comfort zone, that's the moment you become unstoppable. Number 6, they use your fears against you. Fear is one of the most powerful forces in the world. It can push you forward or hold you back. It can make you rise or make you fall. And the people who truly love and support you, they help you conquer your fears. They stand beside you, reminding you of your strength when you start to doubt yourself. But a hidden narcissist with evil intentions, they do the opposite. They don't just acknowledge your fears, they weaponize them. They take the things that scare you the most and use them as a leash, keeping you right where they want you. They do it subtly at first. They listen when you confide in them, nodding along as you share your deepest insecurities. Maybe you're afraid of failure. Maybe you're terrified of being alone. Maybe you struggle with self-doubt, afraid you're not good enough, afraid of being judged, afraid of losing the people you love. And they act like they understand. They act like they care. But what they're really doing, they're taking notes. They're studying you. Because one day, when the moment is right, they'll use those very fears to manipulate and control you. When you try to step outside your comfort zone, they bring up your biggest anxieties. If you want to chase a dream, they remind you of past failures. Are you sure about this? What if it doesn't work out? You don't want to embarrass yourself, do you? If you want to leave a toxic situation, they play on your fear of being alone. You really think you'll find someone better? I'm the only one who truly understands you. If you're insecure about your abilities, they magnify your doubts. I mean, you're good, but there are people way better than you. You might not be ready for this. They know exactly which buttons to press to make you hesitate, to make you second guess yourself, to keep you stuck in the same place, right where they want you. And the worst part? They make it seem like they're helping you. They act like they're just looking out for you, like they're protecting you from disappointment, from heartbreak, from failure. And because their words are wrapped in concern, you start to believe them. You start to think, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't take the risk. Maybe I should just stay where it's safe. But what you don't realize is that they're not protecting you, they're controlling you. They're keeping you small so you never grow beyond their influence. But it doesn't stop there. If they ever feel like they're losing their grip on you, they take things a step further. They use fear as a weapon, actively creating situations that make you feel powerless. Maybe they make you doubt your own worth, subtly tearing you down so you become dependent on their validation. Maybe they isolate you, making you feel like the world is against you, like they're the only person you can truly rely on. Maybe they create chaos in your life, keeping you in a constant state of stress and uncertainty so you never have the clarity or confidence to break free. And just when you're at your weakest, when you're exhausted, when you feel like giving up, that's when they strike hardest. They remind you of every single fear that keeps you awake at night. No one else will ever care about you the way I do. You'll never make it without me. The world is a cruel place and you're not strong enough to handle it alone. They paint a picture of a future filled with failure, loneliness, and regret, making you too afraid to leave, too afraid to change, too afraid to take control of your own life. But here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Fear is a lie. Fear is a cage. Fear is the one thing standing between you and the life you were meant to live. And the moment you stop letting it control you, the moment you stop letting them use it against you, that's the moment you set yourself free. Because the truth is you are strong enough. You are capable. You are worthy of a life bigger than the one they want to keep you in. The fears they use against you, they're not proof that you should stay where you are. They're proof that you need to rise. Because the biggest breakthroughs, the biggest transformations, they always come right after the moment of greatest fear. So what do? You take back control. You stop letting them dictate what you can and cannot do. You stop believing their lies. You recognize that their so-called concern isn't love, it's manipulation. And most importantly, you face your fears head on. You prove to yourself that you can survive failure. You can handle being alone. You can overcome every single obstacle in your way. Because once you do, once you show yourself that fear has no power over you, you become untouchable. And that's what they fear the most. Number 7, they pretend to be loyal, but their loyalty has conditions. Loyalty, true, unwavering, unconditional loyalty is rare. It's a bond built on trust, on mutual respect, on standing beside someone not just when it's easy, but when it's hard. Real loyalty doesn't waver when times get tough. It doesn't disappear when circumstances change. It doesn't come with hidden terms and conditions. But a hidden narcissist, their version of loyalty is nothing but a game. It's a mask they wear, a role they play. They make you believe they're in your corner, that they'll stand by you no matter what. But the truth, their loyalty only lasts as long as it serves them. The moment it stops benefiting them, the moment they no longer have something to gain, they're gone. At first, they seem like the most loyal person you've ever met. They hype you up in front of others, defend you against your enemies, and make grand gestures that convince you they'll always have your back. They make you feel safe, like you finally have someone who will never turn against you. They make promises, big ones. I'll always be here for you. I'll never betray you. You and me, we're a team. And you believe them. Because why wouldn't you? Their words are powerful. Their actions, at least in the beginning, seem to match. But what you don't realize is that their so-called loyalty is not for you. It's for themselves. It's for what they can get out of it. Because their loyalty, it's conditional. It's transactional. It comes with invisible strings attached. They won't tell you up front, but there are unspoken rules. Rules you're expected to follow. Rule number 1, you must always put them first. Your needs, your dreams, your happiness, they all take a back seat to theirs. If they go out of their way for you, they expect something in return. And if you ever dare to put yourself first, if you ever ask for the same level of commitment from them, that's when the mask starts to slip. Suddenly they're too busy. Suddenly they're distant. Suddenly their words don't match their actions anymore. And when you call them out, when you question their change in behavior, they flip the script. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me? They act like they're the victim, like you're ungrateful, like you're the one who broke the bond, and that's when you start to see the truth. Their loyalty was never about you, it was always about control. And the worst part, they don't just withdraw their loyalty when you stop serving their needs. They weaponize it. They use your trust against you. If you confided in them, if you shared your weaknesses, if you let them see parts of you that no one else has seen, they'll use that information to manipulate you. They'll remind you of how much they know about you, subtly threatening to expose the things you once shared in confidence. I know things about you that no one else does. Are you sure you want to push me away? It's their way of keeping you in line, making you feel like you need them, like you can't afford to lose them. Even when you know, deep down, that they're no longer the person you thought they were. And if you ever decide to walk away, if you ever refuse to play their game, that's when you see their real loyalty. Because when they can no longer benefit from you, they don't just leave quietly. They turn against you. They start talking behind your back, twisting the narrative, making themselves look like the victim while painting you as the villain. They'll tell others that you betrayed them, that you changed, that you were the one who was never truly loyal. And because they've spent so much time crafting their perfect image, people believe them. And you're left wondering how someone who once swore they'd always stand by you could turn so easily. But here's the truth. They were never truly loyal to begin with. Because real loyalty, it doesn't have conditions. It doesn't demand repayment. It doesn't disappear the moment it stops serving someone's ego. True loyalty is earned through mutual respect and love. It's not something that should ever have to be proven over and over again just to keep someone in your life. And once you realize that, once you recognize the difference between real loyalty and fake loyalty, you stop letting them manipulate you. You stop feeling guilty for expecting the same commitment they demanded from you. You stop believing that their betrayal says anything about you, because it doesn't. Their lack of real loyalty doesn't mean you weren't worthy of it. It just means they were never capable of giving it in the first place. So you let them go. You stop chasing after people who only stay when it's convenient for them. You stop trying to hold on to someone whose loyalty was never real to begin with. And instead, you focus on finding people who don't just say they're loyal, but who prove it every single day without expecting anything in return. Because real loyalty, it doesn't come with conditions, it's a choice. A choice to stand by someone no matter what. And the people who truly love you, they'll never make you question whether or not they're on your side. They'll show you through their actions, through their consistency, through their unwavering presence in your life. And when you find those people, that's when you realize losing fake loyalty was never a loss, it was a blessing. Number 8, they drain you until there's nothing left. Some people walk into your life like a breath of fresh air. They lift you up, inspire you, bring you peace. But then there are others, the ones who don't bring peace, but chaos. They don't fill your cup, they empty it. They don't build you up, they break you down. And the worst part, you don't see it happening at first. It's slow. It starts with small things, little demands, tiny sacrifices, minor compromises, and before you know it, you're exhausted. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually drained. You're running on empty, but they just keep taking. Because a hidden narcissist doesn't just want a piece of you, they want all of you. At first, they make you feel needed. They rely on you, confide in you, make you feel like you're the only person who truly understands them. And you give. You pour into them, offer your support, lend them your strength. You tell yourself it's what love, what friendship, what loyalty is supposed to look like. You tell yourself they'd do the same for you, but they wouldn't. Because the truth is, they're not in this to give, they're in this to take. And they do. They take your time, your energy, your kindness. They take your peace, your joy, your confidence. They demand your attention, your constant reassurance, your endless patience. And no matter how much you give, it's never enough, because they are a bottomless pit, an endless void of need, insecurity, and selfishness. No matter how much you pour into them, they will never be full. They will never be satisfied. And the more you give, the less of yourself you have left. But you don't realize it right away. You don't see that you're fading, that you're losing yourself in the process, because they make you feel like this is normal, like this is what relationships are supposed to be. They make you believe that your exhaustion is love, that your sacrifice is loyalty, that your suffering is proof of how much you care. And you keep going, you keep giving, you keep pouring into them, even when you have nothing left to give, until one day you wake up and realize you're empty. You don't recognize yourself anymore. The light you once had, it's gone. The dreams you once chased, you don't even remember what they were. The happiness you used to feel, it's a distant memory. And the person who drained you, they don't care. They never did. Because they were never in this for you. They were in this for them. And if you ever try to pull away, if you ever try to reclaim your energy, your time, your life, that's when they panic. That's when they double down, because they can't afford to lose their supply. So they guilt trip you. After everything I've done for you, you're just going to walk away? They gaslight you. You're the selfish one. You're the one who changed. You're the one who's being unfair. They play the victim. I need you. I can't do this without you. And they play the victim. I need you. I can't do this without you. You're the only person who's ever been there for me. And for a moment you hesitate. For a moment you question yourself. But deep down, you know the truth. You know this isn't love. This isn't friendship. This isn't real connection. Because real love doesn't drain you. It fuels you. Real friendships don't leave you empty. They leave you full. Real relationships don't take everything from you. They pour back into you. And once you realize that, once you finally see the pattern, the manipulation, the toxic cycle, that's when you make the choice to walk away. And it won't be easy. It won't be simple, because they won't let go without a fight. They'll do everything in their power to pull you back in, to keep you trapped, to convince you that you need them, but you don't. You never did. They needed you. They needed your energy, your kindness, your strength. But now it's time to take that energy back. Now it's time to pour into yourself. Because the truth is, you were never meant to live your life as someone else's fuel. You were never meant to run yourself into the ground just to keep someone else standing. You deserve peace. You deserve joy. You deserve relationships that don't drain you but restore you. And the moment you finally understand that, the moment you choose yourself instead of choosing to keep someone else comfortable at your expense, that's the moment you take your power back. And when you do, that's when you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Free. Free from their demands, free from their manipulation, free from the constant exhaustion of trying to keep them happy while slowly losing yourself in the process. You'll feel lighter, stronger, whole again. And that's when you'll realize the people who truly love you, they don't want to drain you. They want to see you thrive. They don't take away from you. They add to your life. And once you find those people, you'll never let someone like that steal your energy again, because now you know better. And when you know better, you do better. And when you do better, you win. You've seen the signs. You felt the exhaustion. You've questioned yourself, doubted your own reality, and given more than you ever should have. But now you know the truth. The hidden narcissist doesn't love, doesn't support, doesn't care. They consume, they manipulate, deceive, and drain you until there's nothing left. But you don't have to stay in that cycle. You don't have to keep sacrificing yourself for someone who would never do the same for you. It's time to take your power back, to set boundaries, to walk away without looking back, because your energy, your peace, your life, they belong to you, not to the people who only want to use you, not to the ones who smile in your face while tearing you down behind your back. You deserve better. You deserve relationships that lift you up, not break you down. And when you finally step away, when you finally cut them off and choose yourself, that's when you step into the life you were meant to live. A life of strength, a life of peace, a life where you are whole again. So stand firm, trust your instincts, and never, never let anyone take your light away. Thank you for listening. Stay strong, stay true to yourself, and may God bless you on your journey.